Morning. Well, it's about to be. Only had a little nug in there. I think I should do a video on how to crumble that up and get that in the bowl without. Speaking of, I want some coffee. Meanwhile, I actually brought my larger bubbler down here because I like it better than the teeny ones. The teeny ones are just really portable and convenient, but I really love the full-size bubbler. And in between the two, I have this. It's perfect. It's probably from remnants of old bong water. So what I basically do is take the tomato, make sure the stem is off. I like to pick them, if I like to eat the ones without the stem first, between me and you, because once I learned just this season that if you leave the cap on a pea, when you harvest them, it extends the shelf life of that pea's freshness. That made all the sense in the world to me, because I've always felt like, as it stands, basically the longer you leave something on a stem, the fresher it remains. And I'm sure it's because the fruit receives the nutrients through the stem. So, of course, the more that you leave on the end of it, the more the fruit can believe it's still attached to the plant. Ancestral wisdom of Mother Nature, it just speaks directly to me when I'm high. And then I can retain that knowledge when I'm not high. It's not like I forget it, like you would if you were drunk or on some sort of mind-altering prescription drug. A drug that your American doctor has prescribed. So when I learned that officially that leaving the cap of the stem on a pea preserves the shelf life of its freshness, then it all made sense to me. So now I don't generally keep the cap on the pea when I harvest them, because I don't want to have to harvest them twice. You harvest them from the plant, and then you got to sit there and take all the stems off before you wash and or use / eat them. So I'm not finna do a whole extra layer of work unnecessarily. I'm your maxim minimalist, doing the most with the least. Anyway, once I harvest some tomato, if tomatoes need to come off of the plant, I have a tendency to eat the one without the stem first, because I feel like these will have a longer shelf life of freshness, the ones that still have the stems connected. I said all that to say, I grab the ones without the stems first. I aim the stem spot down, because that's where the seeds are going to shoot out of when you do this. And I aim the stem spot down, and then I swirl the tomato around in my fingers as I squeeze firmly but slowly. So see that? I don't know if you even heard that squirt out of there. And just squeeze them out. And if you greedy and need every last seed, you could get you a spoon and go in there. But they pretty much gone. They're pretty much out of there. One seed there at the bottom. And I don't need it. So then I put this in the bag. And then I'm going to freeze the bag, because those are ones I'm going to eat. Now I also put any tomatoes that were that cracked or that were bad or what for whatever reason, I still use those for seed. I still take the seeds out of it. There's no sense in wasting those seeds. You're not going to eat the fruit. But I'm just saying that to say you want to keep it separate from the ones you are going to eat. So I did those first, actually. I squeezed those in a glass first and threw them away. So the rest of these, I'm squeezing the seeds out, and then I'm going to keep the rest of the tomato. Again, stem side down, swirl and spin. And they're going to shoot out of, there they go. And the tomato will choose which end it wants to squirt the seeds out of. The tomato, stem side down. There, I felt it crack back there. There it goes. I spun it around when I felt it, so y'all could see all the seeds coming out of there. Oh, you can see all the seeds coming out of there. Man, technology still amazes me sometimes. Heck, we want that. We want those last seeds. Ones with the stem still attached are the ones I have left. I never did put music on for us. I don't know why my face got to be all crunched up. Because my middle-aged eyes that need readers all the time, need glasses probably pretty much now. Tomato seeds that I'm not harvesting are these yellow pear tomatoes. Ooh. I've already tested this and gave you an assessment. But in case the video was sloppy, what I said was, at first bite, you can hear the cicadas, which is actually a nice sound because it makes you feel like you're outdoors. But anyway, so at first bite, you get like I'm like, you attribute the visual to the flavor because the very first bite is very lemony sweet. Literally the first bite, because after that it's bland. Everything is bland. Not only is it bland, the flesh is kind of soggy, like how when watermelon gets overripe, like when tomatoes get overripe. So it's kind of yeah, the flesh is soggy. It's got the right texture, but I guess the blandness of the flavor lends to a more soggy flavor in the flesh. Yeah, but it was overall good. The reason being is because they're so small. They're the perfect size. If they were any bigger, it would be a big problem. It would go from, okay, it's not pretty good, but it's good. And it would go from good to nah, I'm good. Because by the time you realize that the flavor is bland and the texture goes soggy, it's gone. And so you still have a hint of that very first bite of lemony sweet flavor. And another thing, like this top end of the bulb is the last to ripen, but even once the bulb is ripe and ready to eat, the tip of the bulb doesn't taste. This might as well be a handle. This might as well be a handle, because you're gonna eat it like this. And that's where you're gonna want to stop. On all of them, even the ones that's all, see, that was a little bigger than most of them. So that bland sogginess is holding on. But when you get a tiny one, you get a smaller one. But when you get a smaller one, it's better. But I'm not recommending or promoting these either way, because I feel like Like, this was just something I tried this season because I saw the seeds and I never seen the seeds before. And then all of a sudden, I saw that everybody was growing these this year, and so that makes me feel like, put on your buckle your seatbelts. I'm finna go all conspiracy theory. That makes me feel like they did something with these. They GMO'd these seeds somehow, or they put something in these fruits to get us, and we fell for the okie doke. And that's why I'm neither growing these, and I'm not really eating them other than on camera. I'm not grazing on them, and I'm not. I feel like they did something with these, and I'm not. They're not even tasty enough for me to go for the okie doke. You know, I could see if they made something that tastes like candy, but nourished you like a vegetable. Come off a plant. Then we all be eating the chips or poisons that y'all put in these in this thing. So anyway, yeah, this gonna be the last time you see these. I might pull them right now. I think I'm gonna pull them right now, cause everything is about to have to go. The seasons are changing, and I don't have no love for these. Look at these. This one branch has all different phases of development. This is ripe and cracked, damaged. This is fat and plump and ripe. This is not quite ripe. This is still green, not ripe. And this hasn't even developed in size. They're like all graduations of development here. I'm finna bite into this fat one though, because I've never seen a fat one. Gone. See that first bite of lemony, and then it's gone. That first bite of lemony sweetness. It's not tart. It's good. But then it's gone. Yeah, I'm really not even motivated to finish this little thing. So I'm not gonna. Because I trust when God is be telling me stuff. At this point, even when it sounds crazy to the colonized mind. And I'm not saving these seeds, so why do I have these? I'm gonna pick a few more, and then I don't want to fill my glass up more than halfway, because I'm gonna want to cover it with water. Cold water. Cover it with cold water. Seeds seem like they're gonna go everywhere, and they do, but then they begin to settle to the bottom, and then you pour out the murky water that's on top of the seeds, and do that until you get as clear as you possibly can. You're not going to get fully clear, but continue to pour the top part of the water off to the seeds, then refill it up, pour the water off. We're going to do that probably about 3 times, maybe 7. Settling. See, and eventually you'll start seeing that excess flesh floating around in the water that you're getting rid of. That's 3. I only did it 3 times. Now, when I was brand spanking new and anxious, I would go as far as to, you know, try to smush some of them to slide them out of that slimy coating that's around all of them. But between me and you, do it if you want to, just for the experience of it. I mean, it's not like you're gonna be able to successfully do it anyway. But yeah, just from black gardener to black gardener, you don't have to waste your time unless you just have the time and you find it a relaxing, mind-numbing thing to do, like people that like ASMR stuff. Do it. It might be soothing for your mental wellness. But yeah, that was unnecessary. I mean, I spent like 15 minutes. I would put two fingers in there, smush it up against the. I had a whole technique where I would smush it up against the wall of the glass there. And still wouldn't successfully get that much more off, so it's a waste of energy. Don't do it. And I'm not finna do it now because I'm a veteran at this game and I'm a max minimalist. How many times I gotta tell you? So I let those seeds sink to the bottom, and then I let this sit overnight. I know, right? Cause I know you like, hold up, they're gonna germinate. No, they're not gonna germinate. What's gonna happen is that flesh is going to release from these seeds and make them so that you can harvest them without the goo wrapped around them. Y'all gonna see. I'm gonna put this all conveniently, put this all in the same video for you, and in an efficient video at that. Mister is right. I gotta be more careful. You know, I almost just said, I glanced down at that yellow pear tomato vine in disgust, and I was like, and all the trouble I went to find the perfect tomatoes for myself, I found the perfect tomato, and I'm gonna decide to just try a new tomato this year. It's crazy how they get in our heads. I just spotted it, never saw it before, or never paid attention to it, and reached out and grabbed it and grew these hoes. Just like millions of other people, because I'm looking at other gardeners' posts and they are growing. This was the year they decided also to grow this yellow pear tomato. And me, who already has my host tomatoes set for life, until I taste one that is better or grows easier or more sturdy. I was like, there better not be a cabbage moth. It's a wrap for their season. I really feel like they did something with them yellow tomato. So anyway, as I looked at them with disgust, I was like, what the fuck did I try a new tomato for anyway? I painstakingly did all the research that I needed to do to find my base tomatoes, the regular one and the cherry one. Found them, period. There should be no more other tomatoes unless I taste, like I said, unless I taste one that upstages my two tomatoes. But then I remembered I just bought some black tomatoes. I got my black tomato seeds in the mail the day before yesterday, so yeah. But I'm representing the struggle. I wanna grow a black tomato that tastes good, or at the very least tastes like a tomato. Like, let's be real. Show me the person that you saw taste that black tomato and their mind was blown at how sweet and delicious it was. I'll wait. Because I've been curious about black tomatoes for a long time, or dark tomatoes even. I didn't even know a black one existed, per se, a black. But dark tomatoes, I had one called a chocolate tomato. Every dark tomato I've ever tasted was bland. It tasted like this yellow pear tomato taste after the sweet lemony flavor has gone. After like 2 seconds. After, I'll say 5 seconds. 5 seconds. Let's time it. 7. After 7 seconds. The bottom line is, I was never able. I found a gourmet, a 3-set of tomatoes, a gourmet tomatoes. I was like, as much as this costs, and as weird as this looked, they had to have done it right. And I took a bite. They were dark, and I took I think they call them chocolate tomatoes, But I took a bite out of that tomato and I was like, if this is the gourmet version, I don't even want no parts of the regular one, because this was not good. It tastes like this after 7 seconds. Post 7, it tastes like post 7-second yellow pear tomato. Not here for it. So then I started looking on, since all my efforts were fails, and I don't want to just assume that it's a trait of the dark tomato. Don't get me started on the narratives. But anyway, the irony that the dark tomato is the one with no flavor, right? But I don't want to just assume that it is a characteristic of the dark tomato overall. So I started looking on YouTube for people taste testing dark tomatoes, and literally no one. Now you know if the sociopaths of the attention thirsty sociopaths of YouTube won't even fake it for a dark tomato, then you know that there is a likelihood that across the board, the characteristics of the flavor play of the dark tomato is not impressive. Non-impressive at best. I haven't seen anybody cut open a dark tomato and say, including these ones I just ordered, including them. But I did see some yesterday called black cherry tomatoes, and they implied that they were sweet. But again, I've never heard anyone or seen anyone actually physically taste it and be impressed by the sweetness of the flavor of a dark tomato. And that one actually boasts sweetness. So I might actually check it out. It depends on how my indigos go. But I'm going to try to grow my indigo. Should I even waste a seed doing that? I was going to try to grow one indoors. You know what? I should have smoked GSD. But as a veteran in this game right now, at least I know that there's something I can smoke to recover and get back on the GSD. So how y'all doing with them prescriptions and whatnot? Can y'all do that with them? No? Oh, you can in some cases. But in those cases, those other prescriptions attack your other organs. Oh, too bad for you. Cause when I dose up and I get too high, then I just go and smoke some CBD to wind down from being too high. And then I'll smoke a GSD strain to get me on track of where I want it to be in active mode. And while I'm at it, let me put some fresh water in this hole. Look at that. That's why that last hit tasted so bad. Did the job though. I am really sitting here designing that hole for the $1 million idea. I just designed that hole. I need to follow up with a new client, make sure she's good, and make sure she's seeing improvement in her life, immediate improvement. I'm so proud. I'm so proud to be a catalyst for people's self-love, people's own self-love. I'm just a catalyst. But I love that. That is very meaningful. I need to go out in the garden. Okay, did I finish all this about the thing? Yeah, the last thing was the black tomatoes. So I got those seeds for next year, but You know how we do with Mother Nature. And I just be wanting to try shit. Plus, I want to see if I've been had. This is another max and minimalist move. I think the next time I get a bag of lemons, I'm going to gut them and put them in ice trays the same way I do aloe. The same way I do with cilantro and olive oil. The same way I do... You know what? I'm going to do it on camera. That's what we're doing. We're sharing knowledge now. We got to survive the best way we can. And the best way we can is looking out for number one. And even if I'm looking out for number one, I can, and I don't have, and somebody else don't have room to look out for you. I don't have room to come out of my mess, you know, to clean up your mess. But I can be a catalyst. Cause I'm that catalyst for me. I told y'all sometimes it'd be ancestral, and it be coming to me as me in the flesh. Like I be knowing, but it's not me that be knowing. It's the God that's in me that be knowing. So that I'm well, I ain't like y'all, but in terms of being just a human in the flesh, that's all I am. The messages be coming to me. Don't attribute the messages to me as a human individual, but to me as a spirit, as an entity. But to me as an entity, see, because I know it's hard for humans, regular humans, especially American humans. American humans are the worst. Colonized American humans are the worst. We're all colonized in reference to something. What am I colonized with, you might ask? Stick around. There's so many things. The difference is I'm aware of it. And they're either things that I can't change, or circumstances won't let me change. A thing is a thing. The munchies must have sneaked up on me. I didn't even realize I grabbed a cucumber and just started fucking it up toward the end of that video. And I am fucking it up. It's a nice breakfast though.